favorite scary movie.
Is Tamara home?
Is Tamara there?
Really got the answer, did we? I mean, she was. And then she's just not home no more, ever. She's not in this earthly plane.
Tamara don't live here no more.
Welcome. That's lots of welcomes. That's as many welcomes as there are Strangers movies. That's good. Welcome. Now, next one to Uncensored Horror, UCR's horror enclave of all the darkness and dinginess that pollutes the world. And we're here. We're live. We're doing live. We don't. It's been a little hot minute since we've been on live, so that's cool.
We're doing live. We're gonna go live.
Yeah, we're doing it.
We're doing it live.
You doing good?
I'm okay.
This is fresh. I put you on assignment, didn't I? I was like,
You
go.
did. You did.
Go,
you did.
go.
You said just take the protege and go.
We have a busy month coming up because obviously we have the incoming now release of Scream 7. So we wanted to get something out to the people before I think the world is going to go crazy, especially the horror world is going to go crazy for Scream 7. So we, being the completists that we are, never dodging a responsibility, today we'll be talking about The Strangers Chapter 3.
I'm sorry, did I just give it away?
What I'm assuming will be the final installment in this iteration of the franchise. Now, we'll talk about our viewing, because we both have very different viewing experiences. You had an interesting viewing experience that you can share with the folks as well. But I saw this while I was still in Vancouver. I went to a huge, like, multi-level cinema to see this movie, and it was me and one other person, but it was a weekday. Oh no, it wasn't. It was a Sunday afternoon. And they didn't open till like after 12 o'clock. It was very exciting. I was like, hello, is anyone here? And it kind of makes seeing these kind of movies a little bit creepier when there's no one around, because I always think, is this going to be that moment where there's some viral thing where there's going to be the killers popping up in their face masks ready to kill me and I'm going to go viral? I can hope, I guess. But yeah, I saw it in Vancouver while I was waiting for my plane to leave. Now you have a different story.
The protege and I ventured out to see the movie. And when I got there, I tell this woman, this is what we want to see. And she goes, are you sure? And it's like, and I'm thinking, it's probably how I feel too. But yes, I would like to see this movie. And she looks at me, she goes, how old is he? The protege is young. We admit this. And listen, folks, I understand that not everyone will let their children watch these movies at the protege's age. And I respect the hell out of any parents who are doing what is best for their child. But for you to look at me with those judgmental boomer eyes and say, are you sure? It's rated R. We usually don't suggest that for these kinds of children. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. I've had this discussion with my child. I know what he's comfortable with. I know what I'm comfortable with him seeing, and we're good.
I think when it comes down to it, you've got to, like, unless it's like a solid NC-17, not recommended for children. And parent, especially if you're the parent with the child, I think that there should be an understanding that this kid knows what's happening.
And you know what? And I'm gonna get on my soapbox for a second. There is horrible things going on around the world, and it's on the news.
Yeah.
And my child and I watch the news together. We are informed. We don't sugarcoat it with our child. And he sees these things and he asks questions. So to me, if he can watch a man get executed pretty much on live TV, I think we're good. I think
Yeah.
I think a little fictional blood is fine. Fuck ice, by the way.
And look, you never there are you never know what these movies and a lot of tangentially related to Scream. There has always been this conversation about violence in cinema and children, and oh my god, we've got to protect the children. But they will, as you just said, they will find, or violence will find them in some way.
My child is playing a violent video game right now with his friends and probably doing a lot more cursing than all of this whole movie, by the way. Not
That's
that I
all right.
think it's okay that they're cursing, but just throwing it out there. Like
Kids be kids as well, you know?
the days of sheltering our children from these things, I think is kind of over. If you're gonna lean one way, you're gonna lean all into it. I don't
Like
judge you.
I
I
look
don't
back
judge
to
you for what you
going
do.
to see I Know What You Did Last Summer. I wasn't old enough to see I Know What You Did Last Summer when it first came out, so my mum took me.
Mhm.
I did tell her it was a comedy. But
I remember going on a date. I was either in 6th or 7th grade going to see I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, and his mother sitting like a row behind us. Ripley says, "Don't you judge me."
supervision, that's all right. Gateway horror.
Right.
But look,
it is what it
as
is.
we said, but they're going to find it somewhere or it'll find them. And you were the parent there with him. It's not like he was sneaking in by himself, pretending to be a teenager, going, let me in. Look, it happens. And I think, yeah.
Here's my thing.
If you can handle it, then you're the authority on your child.
We are blaming media for too much of what's going on. Violence in the schools, bullying, things like that. We're blaming music, we're blaming movies, we're blaming television shows. Instead of sitting down and having a real discussion with our kids about what's going on with the things you watch, with the things you listen to. There is a very real reality versus fantasy discussion that's not happening. And I have that discussion with my kids. And I studied it a lot in school. And I said, if I ever have kids, because back then homegirl wasn't going to have kids, but here we are, that my kids would know that. They would know that this is not a fantasy world. What's going on in the video game is not going to happen here. What's going on in the movie is not going to happen here.
And yeah, also real life repercussions for that kind of thing and all that. Like it leads to bigger conversations about violence and human nature. And as you said, they're seeing it on the news. They're going to read about it in history. Well, depending on who's president, they'll read about it in history books if they still read books in about 5 years' time. Who knows? We'll see. But violence is there, and shielding, going crazy, especially when you are not that child's primary caregiver. I don't. You can advise, but you can't. I don't think it's anyone's right to judge.
And again, this is a very personal decision that you make with your partner,
or
you make with your child, for your family. If you don't want to do it, that's fine. I think you're doing what's best for your kid, and I support you 100 billion, trillion, bazillion %. That's awesome. Do what makes your family happy. But the protege has decided that he is interested in horror. Does he watch all horror movies? No, he does not. We still screen most of them. Some of them we can't screen when we go to the theater, obviously, but we screen films before we
usually I've seen it before and you go, should I take my child to see this? And I go, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of
this is exactly what happens right here. Uncle Steve is my filter.
The council, we call it, the Grand High Council.
Like, for example, should I take Grayson to see Hard Eyes? Maybe not.
No.
Probably not.
And Black Christmas. Oh no, Silent Night, Deadly Night. The reboot. I was like, maybe not.
Nope,
maybe
and he did
not.
And he did not.
And he did not.
And he did not.
But we did all see this one.
We did. We did.
Let's jump in. There will be spoilers, folks. So if you have not seen Chapter 3 of The Strangers yet,
if you want to call it
maybe
spoilers.
pause us and come back. But it jumps straight in, as we kind of predicted, with the cliffhanger. Well, not even cliffhanger ending of the last movie. The just end of the last movie. It just stopped.
Yep.
Okay. But we are back in time again, and this is getting difficult. I had to really pause for a second and go, okay, who do I know? What characters do I know in this movie from this little trilogy of the movies? Because it was a little bit confusing. We're back in 2021, and a woman named Claire pulls up to the small town of Venus, Oregon. Silly. And decides to stay overnight in the motel before traveling on, which she sadly will not get a chance to do, as she meets resident Shelley Barnes, who we have met in the previous installments and who met a somewhat interesting end in the last film, working at the desk of the hotel. Of course, later that night, we get the infamous knock at the door asking for Tamara. Enter pin-up girl Dollface and Scarecrow. They kidnap Claire and kill her in an underground lair.
Here's my question. Was
Yes.
this necessary?
Well, here's what information I have. This was actually a reshoot.
Well, okay,
this hotel scene was not originally in the film. Madeline Pesh has just done a round of look, good on her for sticking to her commitments and doing publicity for this movie and still backing it. But she said that this and another scene were reshoots after, I guess, the reception to the other movie. So this was not originally included.
It wasn't needed.
Do I think? No.
Are we establishing that Shelley is a psycho? We already knew that.
We knew that when they bludgeon people to death with rocks and stuff as children. Right. I think we get it. We get it.
Real quickly before we get further into this, was the movie especially loud for you, or was it just my theater? Because it was.
I feel like what they tried to do with this one, we were petering out of story, and we were trying to just throw tricks. So, for the reason that this first section was in there is that we don't have that knock on the door moment. That stalky kind of moment. We get a little bit of it when my sister shows up, but we don't get that quintessential strangers moment. And they wanted to go, remember this? This is what everyone was so scared of originally. But then I think the changing of the location is a big thing as well for me. The more I think about it now that we are at the end of this process, the reason why those first two movies worked so well is that they were in isolation, but in a public space and in a space that you should be familiar with, and that these killers kind of just came out of the night and ripped everything apart and turned the world upside down. Having the whole setting be a whole small town, and now it's a house and a forest and a hotel and a logging mill, it kind of takes even more of what was essentially scary about the first two films and throws it into the wind. Maybe
they were basically throwing things at a dartboard and maybe this will stick. Good luck, because it got more convoluted as the movie went on. As the other movies went on. Quite honestly.
So we flash back to the present day now, and following the death of Shelley, which she did, Maya sees the, I guess, kind of tender moment between. Look, and here's the thing: my suspension of disbelief. I can go along with things for a while. As soon as we met the character of Gregory, it was obvious that he was one of the strangers, right?
Yes. Like there's no.
So
If ands, or
having him in a
buts.
mask, having him in that mask all the time, it kind of negates it because we know who's behind the mask, and that's always the thing with these slashers. Who's behind the mask, what's behind the mask, and why they're wearing a mask is a big thing. When you take the identity, when you reveal the identity, you've kind of won.
You know what's funny is Grayson actually said the same thing. He said part of he's learning, that protege is learning. He said, part of the scary thing about movies like this is that you don't know who it is, that it could be anyone. And that's why it's so scary, because you don't know who to trust. And I said, yes, that's the point, but sometimes you need the reveal. He goes, well, they didn't do a very good job.
It's in the title of the movie, The Strangers.
Right. And then they had this
So when they're not strangers.
Right. And then they have the whole credit scene, like serial killers, someone who murders more than 2 people, and they're usually strangers. Okay, but
once they have an identity, that changes this to something else.
And she's no longer a stranger to them because they know who she is. Like she's just
really obsessed. Like,
obsessed.
Really obsessed with her for some reason that we never really get.
I've had boyfriends like that.
We never really get that reasoning why. Like, obviously Maya's the one that got away, but there more? There has to be more than that.
I mean, they're pretty stuck on that point.
Yeah, I don't think we can. You can't. The one thing I will say is you can't blame Madeline Pesh for this movie. She's committed the entire way. I think that she's really good in this movie.
Yes. She is a good final girl. She just has not been given her moment to really shine. And I really hope something comes along for her, like a really nice, juicy script that she can sink her teeth into and really get into. Because I think she would shine.
When she's given good material, even in Riverdale, which is probably the same quality-wise. So we're looking towards the end of the show. It's the same quality as this. She's chewing scenery. She's there to do the job. And I don't think you can blame her. But even like this, when she's picked up by Sheriff Rodder, this worked. Her and him in the car, and we've known that we know that he's implicit in everything going on in the town.
She suspects.
That kind of tension works.
Yes.
But we needed more of that, like that maliciousness. I feel like this movie was a lot crueler than the other ones. We see a lot, and I think maybe because of the identities are revealed, it's not random violence now.
I mean, crueler, maybe.
We'll talk about it when we get to Maya's sister and all that kind of thing, and the things that she is forced to do. I'm just like, oh, okay. And that could have been a bit more interesting, but we'll see. So she manages to give Sheriff Rodder the slip. But this bitch, man, how many cars do you need to crash?
And
this is the third, right? This is the third vehicle that she has crashed in this 24 hours. The ambulance, there was another car, and there was this one, the FBI car.
I think it's just time to revoke her license at this point. Like, you have proven that you are not a driver. No, sorry, Maya.
All those head wounds. She'll be like, oh god, head trauma.
I mean, this girl. Besides the fact that she is going to be traumatized for the rest of her life, the second that she can let her nervous system just kind of relax, she is going to she's going to just fall apart. Like, because can you imagine, like, you've been like deep stab wounds that are probably ripped back open. She's probably got so many head injuries. Like this. The fact that she makes it to a hospital will be a miracle.
her Major League Football career is over. Let's just put it that way.
She's done. That is case closed. CTE. We're all set.
But she's kidnapped. And we get into a weird flashbacks. Again, more flashbacks. And I get maybe that this was supposed to be the start of the movie. These flashbacks, where it's revealed that Gregory is Sheriff Rodder's son. And I think we all kind of guessed that as well.
I think, are we skipping over the church scene?
Well,
are we
kind
there
of?
I
kind
think
of.
I want to just touch on it really, really quickly. Because
Okay, talk about the church scene.
Because it's obvious she knows who he is. Like, it's...
And yeah, he knows who she is. And
he even says, "You're still alive." And she talks about, "Sorry I killed your friend." Like, it's very obvious they know who they are. And I like this scene because there was tension there. Like, are they going to start fighting? Are they going to talk? He said there's no masks here. So, like, clearly it's established. I know who I'm talking to. And
I think it was meant to be that tension point again. But
I think this was meant to establish a game of cat and mouse because he tells her to get the hell out.
Yeah.
Knowing damn well he's going to come after her.
Right. And again, this was a scene that was added. This church scene was filmed later as well.
I got to be honest, this is the only scene that truly, truly worked for me.
Because there's an initiation of that tension in there. It's like, okay, well, what's going to happen? Is our third killer going to come through the door at the back there? Or is it just going to be them having their little intimate weird moment? It's weird because it doesn't pay off.
There is no payoff. But it still worked because, like you said, like he establishes we know who each other are. We know there's only one exit, one entrance and one exit. So she knows she's there. She's trapped.
Yeah.
It could have been
played up a bit more, and maybe that should have been the opening because as I was saying, I think that this flashback was originally the opening to this movie.
I think the flashback or this scene would have been a much better opening rather than Claire, who granted, sorry, Claire, that sucks
nothing
for you, but like we already know Shelley's a psycho. We already know that you're probably done for when you're traveling alone and you checked in with Shelley. So like there was nowhere to go except to the bunker.
Yeah. Which again, we've never seen until this movie.
I'll get into it. Keep going. Just keep going.
We've never seen this movie. So we get the reveal that Gregory is Sheriff Rodder's son, which I guess there had to be a reason for him protecting those kids as he did. Like the town allowed it, but it was a pretty easy 1 + 1 = 2 moment.
We speculated for a little bit that perhaps it could have been ritualistic. It could have been anything.
Yeah.
I'm kind of happy it didn't go that route. I feel like movies like this will take that route pretty as like an easy in. Yeah. Like we're sacrificing so there's good crops or something. Like
yeah.
And I like that they didn't go there. This actually feels like something that would happen in a small town. I'm covering up my...
It could happen, yeah.
And does happen. I'm covering up my son's dirty deeds because I'm the sheriff and I have that power. Still feels realistic, and that is why The Strangers is so scary, because it feels real. It's a very real possibility that intruders will come to your house. It's a very real thing that you will be home alone. It's a very real thing that you may not know who's coming to get you. It's scary. That feels real to me.
Yeah. So the agreement that the judge rules that because of Gregory's age, he's left in the care of Sheriff Rodder, and Sheriff Rodder says to Shelley and Gregory, and Shelley's the driving force, Gregory's the muscle that she ends up. Shelley's the one that should have been taken care of, really. But as long as they don't murder anyone from the town, the cover-up can continue. Okay, fair enough. Whatever. Bad for tourism, but you know,
Yeah.
that's sometimes how thing goes. And now we flash forward again. The wood chipper scene is interesting.
I never. Okay. Talk me through this because
Mhm.
I don't understand why he gave a few extra
Needs to
blows
do
to
that.
Shelley. Number one, like she's
Yeah.
clearly dead. There are more humane ways to kill her to make sure she's like not in pain or anything. That was just that kind of gave me a lot of anger and a lot of like aggression.
Yeah.
And then you put her
and
in.
maybe a wood chipper. I don't know what the I guess reasoning would be. I get that maybe put her out of her misery and get some of that repressed violence out of him for and resentment for what she's made him do in the past and up till now. But
Okay.
is the wood chipper maybe just kind of and we shouldn't have to reach this hard for something,
No.
but is it him like just getting rid of her completely? So, and the dual side of that is it's further traumatizing Maya because he seems to be really obsessed with Maya. So if he can turn her, damage her, break her enough, which we know that he's looking for
Mm-hmm.
a new compatriot. Like, I guess that's the point of it, just terrorize Maya. But
I
it's
suppose.
just it's weird, man.
But could it also be because it's a townsperson that was killed and they've got to cover it up?
And the branding with the tattoo,
That's I got nothing for you there.
because
Like,
it's a I feel like the tattoo maybe should have come after he forces her to do some killing, because up until now everything she's done is in self-defense. I get that maybe he sees the spark, the potential, the whatever in
mhm.
her, but that seems like an initiation thing, right? It's like
Yeah, definitely. But
instead of doing it now and going, well, he's kind of claiming her, but there's no guarantee that she was going to do anything until
right, and I suppose if
he
like
forces it.
if she did not like give in to that, I suppose you just get rid of her. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I didn't really see the point in the
It's like
tattoo.
forced, very forced Stockholm syndrome. We're gonna make it happen, whether you like it or not.
Yes, that's kind of what I was thinking too. Like they're kind of really pushing her to like identify with them, aren't
And
they?
what?
Like,
There's nobody else in this town that can.
right?
There's no one else in this town that
Like
wants to
Annie
do it.
seems a little eager to please.
Yeah, and that was a weird flex as well, but we'll get to her anyway. We flash back again now to teenage Gregory and Shelley, which good casting.
Mhm.
They look like those young kids. Where they meet Jasmine as she was passing through Venus with her boyfriend. This was a little bit of a twist I didn't expect. Jasmine's boyfriend meets a very kind of gory end.
Mhm.
I didn't expect that, but again, I guess that kind of informs why they want Maya. They see potential, so they're going. So after Jasmine's boyfriend makes a pass at Shelley, she's the bait. As it's kind of Manson-y, this part, like they're seeking out and doing all that kind of stuff. But after he makes a pass at Shelley, Jasmine's like, no, blah, blah, blah. They head back to the hotel. And just when Gregory and Shelley go to do their Tamara knock, it was an interesting twist that it failed.
Mhm.
You know, it's like, okay, they walk in and find that Jasmine has already dispatched of her boyfriend because she's a little bit jealous and maybe not that stable.
It happens to the best.
And now we flash forward again, where Maya's sister, Debbie, and her husband are arriving in Venus with bodyguard /
That was weird, right?
right? Bodyguard / security. Because the EMT that they sent for Maya had never showed up. They meet Sheriff Rodder. We have a repeat again of that diner scene where the small towns you walk into that diner and everyone reacts like that. You're like, I need to leave this town now and come back with the FBI. Like, who would say? Who in their right minds would say?
No one. That's giving off Legion vibes. Like, your baby's gonna fucking burn. All little babies are gonna burn. Like, I'm gonna
get out of town.
Yep.
But so do we think? I might have tuned out here. Is Annie's not from Venus? Is she? She's.
I don't. No, I think Annie is from Venus, but I don't remember.
So
I don't remember.
What is the intention of her? Is that to just put them in the position? Is she like the little feeding them bait or something? Because she seems really willing to participate in.
She's definitely from there because she's like saying like it's happening again. I'm just kind of sick of it. So maybe not everyone is as cool with these tourist sacrifices as others, which I can't. Unless it directly benefited me, I don't think I would be okay with just sometimes sometimes you just gotta kill someone,
But why, especially for a small town? Why tourists are the kind of lifeblood?
Yeah,
why are you killing tourists?
Like, you have a hotel and a diner, and you're gonna kill the people that would come into those things.
And it's only So the hotel is literally there to I guess vet who's a victim and who's not.
Basically,
and the diner is just in case the people don't want to cook, because if tourists go in there, they're fucked.
Yeah, you gotta wonder because they said there's like 400 people in Venus. I think it's what it said.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Those people would have to eat there like every day to keep that place in business.
Right.
Like every day, every meal.
Tourist dollar.
Exactly. Like I'm getting way too deep.
In this economy, I don't know. In this economy, I don't
know. It might be
that could have been. It could have been a really interesting commentary on the death of small town America. In the current economy, but it's just weird.
Venus, but anyways.
It's weird, but anyway. So they are sent off because they are told Sheriff Rodder's in on it. They're going hunting. I was like, oh, when he kills his deputy, I was like, that's sad. I kind of like this guy. I thought he might be a knight in shining armor kind of moment, but no, he just gets dispatched through the brain.
I mean, it's kind of, I'm not here to victim shame, but I kind of am. Like, it's kind of your own damn fault. You don't show your cards, Or
you don't stand like you have your hand on your sidearm and ready to pop him in the fucking leg or something.
You just kind of play along until you're alone, and then you call the state police, and then you call the FBI. You don't tell the guy who is.
You do it first.
Yes.
You don't go, I'm going to do this. Scalpel through the brain.
Bam. And like I said,
bam.
I don't know whether it's just the movie or whether our theater just had the volume way up, but every time someone got killed, it was so.
They're pulling tricks. I gotta pull the tricks,
But it wasn't doing anything except ow, so loud. Like it kind of takes you out of it.
So Maya wakes up again, and we are forced into the truck for them to go to the gas station where they found Jasmine to find their next victim. Which they do. They find a couple, and they literally force. This is the forced initiation. I think this is what they're hoping will push her over the edge. We get the Tamara moment when they force her to be a part of the gang.
Mm-hmm.
And Maya's refusal ends up in the murder of the male. But the turnabout was in the distraction. She kills Jasmine, which was pretty good.
It was pretty good.
I'm sorry. I was like, oh, okay, that's a twist I did not see coming.
I was kind of hoping she would like jump on him too, but she just kind of like
killed
Jasmine and then was like, oh, I guess I'm done.
Then we've got this weird obsession thing where Gregory doesn't try and stop it.
No.
He just watches it happen.
Like he could very much just take Maya out right there. Like her back
right
is
while
him,
she's smashing skulls and stabbing people. It's like
she was vulnerable. It could have been done right there.
But then he forces her to kill the woman of the couple using Jasmine's machete.
And see, she's been fighting the whole way until right there. And I think they're just trying to kind of show that like maybe Stockholm syndrome is kicking in and she's just kind of defeated. There's nothing left. Because she's not even fighting it at this point. Or maybe she kind of likes it. I don't know.
It's that I think it's part of using the mask as well, that she's behind that mask, but what is that doing to her, all this violence, what is, and then kind of taking her identity as a victim away, and she could to these victims she could just be one of these killers. I feel like there was a lot more of a psychological story that they could have addressed here and made it a bit deeper and darker, and we see like this kind of coalescing to her in this weird in-between stage of killer and victim. Because we don't talk about that a lot, when it comes to final girls or survivors in the movies. They become the thing that they're fighting. Ultimately, they have to survive. They have to become killers, and then what does that do to them as a result? And I think that's what we're trying to get here, but it's become too much. It's too much going on. So they get back in the truck and head back home. And Sheriff Rodder finds out that Maya's sister and compatriots are headed to the sawmill, which is never a good idea.
You're just not supposed to go in the woods.
This was frustrating. I mean, these characters are introduced. Like, I don't think we have enough time with them to really care what happens to them.
Right.
And they are just fodder. And I feel like we could have had a bit more of if Maya's sister was that concerned and it's that heartbreaking that she's missing and gone, that could have been a bit more prevalent as opposed to more flashbacks, and then it would have made what happens to her even worse. Because the bodyguards in these movies are just the worst.
They are. They're just big old.
They are just the worst. They just get killed straight away. I mean, the trailer flipping was pretty cool, but expected. Howard gets axed, and then I feel like there could have been more done with this, the sister to sister kind of moment, because there wasn't really that much gravitas as to what was happening.
Say, Maya didn't even seem that. I mean, she was clearly upset, but like she didn't seem that upset about it.
Yeah, and I guess we're to believe that that's just the trauma of everything that's gone on, that she's disassociating, that she can't. But it wasn't even played out that well.
No, it wasn't. The bodyguard, the husband, and the sister. They're padding the body count. That's really all
the body count needs to. Yeah, like this is the last movie. We've got to get the body count up. Whereas like, it might have been more satisfying if they killed some more townspeople, because they've contradicted themselves. If we remember back to that second movie, lots of townspeople get killed.
Yeah,
That lady
Gregory's
on the
roommate
farm,
killed.
Gregory's roommates all get killed. So is this just put it in the fuck it bucket moment, all because of Maya?
Do you
That
think
doesn't make sense.
Gregory's roommates knew? They had to.
Well, I think
Because
the whole town
town
knew.
seems
Like,
to
if the
know.
whole town at least suspects something, and you got to think about small town. Small town gossip gets around like nobody's business, and you're living with that person. Of course, someone's going to say something or at least float a rumor. It just did not make sense, and so they've contradicted their own rule that they've created. But that rule's in the third movie, so maybe it wasn't. Maybe this is the point that everything's kind of exploding outwards now. That
Just to me, it
but
makes
that see, it's not clear, and that makes things harder.
right. And if they do know, why would they bring Maya back to their house where her attacker is, unless they're in on it too?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can play this a million different ways.
And then why leave her? You know what I mean? Like why leave Maya while they while they get rid of Jasmine's body?
Mm-hmm.
Like
It's just messy.
they were never going to let her leave and live, is what I'm saying.
Right.
She knows everything that's going on. So why would you leave her? Especially when Jasmine wasn't really the one that he like. If they killed Jasmine first and then Shelley was the death now and he was throwing it all away and didn't care, that would make more sense. But Jasmine's just this random girl.
The only thing I can think of is when you think, if you think of true crime shows where you have these kidnapping cases, and these are like years long kidnap. Like, the guy has basically assumed he has
like
broken
a JC Lee Dugard thing.
Yes. Like, they feel confident that they can leave because these people are so broken, they're not going to run away. Yeah. The only thing I can think of is that he thinks he's completely broken this girl.
He's ruined her.
And she's not going to go anywhere. Like, she's traumatized. She's empty. She's got nothing to live for.
But symbolize that. A good filmmaker would go, okay, she's got her sister's body in the back of the car. She's driving out of Venus. Maybe she sees a car packed with kids heading into Venus, and she goes, I can't let that happen. I'm turning around. But there's not that. She's like, there's not a like once everyone she loves is dead, what point does she have to go back?
Revenge, basically. But they did not. But I mean, it's a given that she's angry, but like, you've kind of let go of that plot point that she's angry.
Yeah,
and made her look
I think
like
that
she's broken.
Yeah, there needed to be some sign of like, I can't let this happen to somebody else or a family or a couple. Like, see something, see someone, give us a sign that that's not going to happen.
Just you can't make her completely broken, defeated, and then make her angry again. I mean, I'm sure she's still angry, but like you've essentially
there's got to be impetus for it to happen. Right. It's like, hello, but she does a little U-turn, rips out her shotgun, and then shoots Sheriff Rodder dead. Which
what I loved about this is he didn't even try. He knew he had it coming. He's just like leaning back, like it's over.
Yeah,
he looked relieved almost.
But I feel like it was too easy an ending for him too.
I don't know. I think he was conflicted about it. It's got to be a lot of guilt.
But I feel like maybe he should have been forced to watch Gregory. You know,
maybe, but
he protected him for so. There's not a lot of justice. I feel there's not a lot of justice. So we get to the weird shrine because that's never been mentioned before. This happens to be this weird Freddy Krueger-esque boiler room shrine, serial killer, blah blah, where Gregory unmasks himself, which we all
already knew.
And they have this weird, I guess, semi-bonding moment where they're supposed to find linkage because everything that they love has been taken away from them. But yeah, that doesn't make sense because he did all the taking.
It wasn't.
But she
was
plays
very
into it and fakes the little, I guess, love/obsession.
It was weird.
And she stabs him.
I mean,
I expected that.
Yes. But can we just talk about this weird moment for a second? He's sniffing her.
Yeah.
Like I get like when you smelling like the hair one thing, like it's like a real quick sniff while you're hugging them, fine. But like he's really getting a good whiff. Like he is.
Yeah, I don't know I don't know whether that's because she's wearing the mask, that's Shelley's mask, but she obviously smells like Maya and blood and all that. It's not clear. Weird. Nothing is clear, and then it just makes you go, "What?" And the ending is just so. Oh well, whatever. Like of course she acts happy, which more power to. After everything that happened to you, the fact that you can even lift an axe. You go, girlfriend. And she walks out with the mask, and that's it.
That's it.
I was like, at least set it on fire, but like, there was no big, like, burn the town down, do something. Like,
yeah, no, there was no real.
Is implicit. And complicit. It's like
there's no conclusion here.
And I think maybe they think that that's an open end and that's scary, but it's just frustrating.
God, they can't.
Now
they can't.
No,
there's no way.
It's just frustrating at the end of all this for that to be the ending. The stakes are just not really.
There's no stakes. There's none.
There isn't, and that's the thing. So, as we said, there were reshoots. So I just want to go back through all of this.
Yes.
So
let's do it.
Principal photography on all three films started in 2022 in September and was wrapped by November 2022. That's not a long time for 3 movies worth of material. So following the release of Chapter 1 and Chapter 2, there was a month worth of additional photography to rework the film after the negative feedback. 3 weeks of reshoots were devoted to Chapter 3. I look at this and go, how? Because you look at something like Fear Street, the original Fear Street trilogy. Those movies were all filmed back to back. And stronger for it, you know what I mean? Stronger for it. The narrative flows through everything. You knew what you had in the can, and you still thought it was okay.
This was a 90-minute movie, and it went quick. I will give it that. It was a clean 90-minute film. It went quickly. This trilogy could have easily been 1 movie, 2 tops, if you really want to get if you want to get into detail on like backstories and all that. But this could have been 1 movie. These 3 movies, easily a 2-hour film, done, and it would have been better, honestly.
Well, the promo that was going around that Rennie Harlan said and Madeline Pesh has backed up was that there is an intention of there being a supercut release of it being 1 film with an intermission in between. But I don't know that there's too, as you said, there's too much material for 1 film. There's not enough for 3.
I think with some cuts, with some tough cuts, you could easily make this a 1 2-hour film movie.
A long movie, yeah.
It's a long movie, but would you rather have a long movie with substance, with a good story, and have it all nicely tied up in a bow? Or Would you rather it drag out for 3 films and then just like get to the end and be like, that's it? That's
Yeah,
what
it's
we
a
were
whimper,
waiting
not a
for?
bang.
Right.
Because even all right, we have to look back and compare it to the original.
That's just
Not
mean.
even a pale shade
Mm-mm.
of the first movie. And
They're not
even
even in the same category.
that second movie is pretty damn good. It's better than anything that we got in this installment. And I've said it before, and there were rumors of it when it was first being mentioned. This might have actually played out better if it was a prequel.
Mm-hmm.
I could see that happening. I could justify all that once all that activity happens in a small town and is revealed, then the small town has to step out, which would be impetus for those new movies,
Mm-hmm.
for the original movie and for Prey at Night. It would have made a lot more sense as a prequel.
Yeah, I agree.
And that way we don't have to have, because it could be anyone from Venus that has assumed those mantles, or anyone they meet along the way as the poison from Venus spreads out and engrosses the world.
Mm-hmm.
This is the big problem, I think, and we noticed it with the Halloween reboots as well. People saying that they are a fan of the original source material and then basically ignoring what that source material sets up to make your own movie. Then don't make a Strangers movie. Make a different movie.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not going to make it part of the narrative that the original Strangers is one of the best horror movies I've ever seen.
Yep, agreed.
In cinemas.
Yes.
This is like the 80s / like late 80s, 90s sequel trend where we're just watering down, diminishing returns, all that kind of thing.
This movie is what Jaws 3D was to the original. Like that. This is the best way I could think of, like, to describe it.
It's so frustrating because it's a simple fix.
Mm-hmm.
Make it a prequel. Make it a prequel. You take the cell phones out of it, and you automatically update the fear level, because you can't just easily Google something. You can't just easily call someone, email somebody. There is a sense of danger and isolation there in a different way
mm-hmm.
than what we got in this movie, because the amount of time she had to escape and didn't escape is bordering on ridiculous. Like,
yeah.
And just I don't understand why you would want to just make something subpar when you could lift and expand things and instead of watering them down.
Especially when it's you're in the same universe as The Strangers, which, like you said, is arguably one of the scariest movies ever made. It is a masterpiece. Right. It's beautiful. It's simple but terrifying.
The performances are fantastic. Like,
and then you got this. And it's not the actors' fault. I think the actors did what they could with what they were given. Especially
the writers these writers have a lot to answer for.
Yes. I really hope Madeline Pesh gets a script that she can work with.
But yeah, I think that's got to be The Strangers put to bed, sadly. And the only way to kind of come back is a remake or a prequel or something now, but not in the immediate future.
No, I think they've kind of ruined that for themselves. It's gonna have to sit for a while.
Which is sad, because it was, and look, arguably, did these movies need to be made? No. Without it adding to the mythos that I know a lot of people didn't love the second movie, but in retrospect, especially when we watched it again for this review, it's good. It's a good movie. It's just a left turn from that original, farmhouse isolation-y kind of thing. And it was the idea of expanding into a bigger world, and we got a resolution. At least we got a resolution at the end of Strangers Pray at Night. And there
I
was
say
that tease that
we're
somebody
talking
was
Pray at
alive.
Night, not Chapter 2, right? I was gonna say,
No,
wait
Pray
a
at Night.
second.
We're talking Pray at Night. We're
Just
talking Pray
double
at
checking.
Night.
Just double checking.
Yeah, I just
No, Pray at
there
Night
was a
wasn't
chance for it to work, but it just didn't. Kind of like the David Gordon Green's Halloween trilogy. It didn't deliver.
Mm-mm.
There is potential, but it didn't deliver.
I just need us to get some fresh ideas, and there are fresh ideas out there. We've proven that. We have.
There's a lot of
proven
horror
that.
coming this year, so we can hope. We can hope, but I think you need to leave these unless you are adding to these legacy series now. You can't. You shouldn't be fucking with it, because even I think we haven't talked about it, but the news about the Halloween TV series that is coming out is now going to be Michael Myers-less. So
what is it?
Why call it Halloween?
You know, this,
you know what I mean?
Is coming on the heels of A24 and Glenn Powell got Texas Chainsaw.
I don't want to see another Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie.
I don't either.
I don't.
Like, listen,
I didn't see the last one.
The original is a masterpiece.
And I would argue the remake
was good
is
too.
up there as well. The remake and the remake prequel were fantastic, but
I think they could have just stopped at the Jessica Biel one. Like that could have been it. Like, just done. And you could even argue
if you could jump forward, like it's been resting for 30, 40 years, then make a sequel to that. Don't try and this is a problem. We're doing alternate timelines and all, like it's falling into Halloween territory.
We don't need to keep remaking these films that have already been remade. Like, let's just move on. Like we said,
you've got to.
There are other movies coming out. There are people with fresh ideas. There are young directors who want to make horror film, who love horror, and who want to do this. And I think, like, as much as we hated Weapons, at least that's a fresh idea. At least that creator is trying to do something here. Yeah, I mean, Oz Perkins. People really love.
I've liked everything that's come out of that. So
at least they are trying to put out fresh new material. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. We've got a comment from Marty McFly. The Strangers is great. Pray at Night is the best. Chapter 1 was a shit remake. Couldn't finish Chapter 2. Haven't seen Chapter 3.
Well, let me tell you,
don't
my friend.
Watch. Don't watch. Look, I think if you've committed that much time to it, and this was my argument, we've committed so much time to it, we got to see it out. We got to and then we can talk about it. I don't even think that. All right, give us a rating of scary masked people out of 3, I guess. Katie, what's yours?
1. And I'm giving credit for the church scene and the music, because the music was fire again.
Yeah,
but that's it. That's it.
But that style over substance.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. It's a 1. It's a 1 for me. All right. Hopefully, everything we've said about this movie is going to be the complete opposite in about 2 weeks' time when Scream 7 releases, because we have a cast that really cares about their movie. We have the original writer now becoming the director. Everything that I'm hearing, I've put myself on a media ban about 2 weeks ago.
I every
After
time
that last trailer came out, I went, I don't want to know any more until I see it for myself.
Every time those TikToks come up with the Sydney interview, I'm like, nope.
You're like, swipe away.
Nope.
It's as of this date now, it is the 17th in the US. It is the 18th here. We are getting down to single digits. I'm going for the first session. There's no. Well, this is the thing. There's no previews for Scream 7. Nowhere is having a preview, and even the screenings here in Australia don't start until 1 p.m. So it's going to be a kind of worldwide moment, which is cool. I think that's what they need to do, because there is so much speculation as to what's going to happen that you need it contained, and then it's going to blow up. I think this is going to be huge. Marty, I got my tickets for Scream 7. If Stu is live, I'm
Marty,
walking out.
baby.
I have theories, but I'm not gonna. I've shared them with Katie because we are, of course, going to cover it. But there are interesting things that I think are going to happen if you know of Scream, and if you know of Scream and you care about the franchise. There is a reveal coming on Friday, Australian time, Thursday, American time, about something that is coming up next week. If you're a fan of the Scream franchise at all, you want to tune in next week for a very special installment. It's a collaboration between Uncensored Horror and UCR. It's a little bit of a mix and match, and if you love that franchise, ladies and gentlemen, tune in. You will not be disappointed with what is coming. And that's all I can say at the moment. So the next time you see us will be Scream 7. I'm so excited. I can't even. The closer it gets, I'm getting excited now because no matter what it is, I want to see it.
I'm rewatching all the films, and I've already rewatched them all. But now we're going into the second rewatch because why not? Why not?
Yeah.
Why
There's
not?
worse way to spend your time. You could be watching this again.
I can't. I can't justify
if you
this
have
waste of
a
time.
franchise that we haven't tackled, please jump in. I've threatened Nightmare on Elm Street. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get to Nightmare on Elm Street. We do have some due diligence to do. We've got to pick up our Friday the 13th. We're about halfway through the run on our Friday the 13th. Yeah. Yes, look, there are some interesting information in next week, so I can't say too much. I may have some inside information.
Here's my question for you.
It's not spoilers, so.
Marty, I have a question for you. How would you feel if Scream 7 just kind of played off the same way as like Scream 6? And like they're there, but they're not there. Like it's like kind of a figment of someone's. Maybe it's Sydney. Maybe they're talking to Sydney like they were talking. Oh God, I forgot her name already.
Tatum.
Not Tatum. And
Melissa
Scream
Barrera.
6. Melissa Barrera's character. Thank you.
Yeah.
So that's what.
I think you're the same as all. You're the same as all of us. I didn't go to opening night because when I was just old enough for the original Scream, and that's what kicked all of this off. Was seeing the original Scream as a teenager in cinemas, and more on this. All of this, Marty. If you're interested, anyone, if you're interested in Scream at all, I cannot stress enough. Please tune in next week. There'll be a trailer popping up. That's all I can say. I've already said too much.
You have said too much.
Thank you for joining me, Katie. We have survived. I meant Billy's Ghost. We have survived the we have survived the strangers, and we are ready to check back in. We're ready to check back in with the survivors of Woodsboro, because why would you ever go back to Woodsboro again? Thank you for joining us on Uncensored Horror. We will be back like a serial killer always does. Thanks, kids. And if someone knocks on your door, just don't answer it.
There are Ring doorbells for this purpose. You don't even need to answer the door anymore. You say,
Tamara, bye, bitch.